Welcome to Country Kickback, where you'll hear the latest music from performers you already know and discover new music and artists from around the world. If you have an artist you'd like us to chat with, reach out to the team at countrykickback.com, or you can watch our live videos and more by following us on social media and YouTube. Here is your host, Danny Shaw, with the latest from Country Kickback.
Hello, happy Thursday, everybody. What's your week been like? I know I promised you guys loads of shows this week, and the internet had a completely different idea of what it was going to do for me, and it has crashed for 2 days in a row, and I have missed so much going on. Everybody's telling me, you haven't replied to me, and I haven't got it yet, so I will get back to everybody, I promise. Susan, good evening. How are you? You're on the Gold Coast. Tell us where you're watching from and what you're up to for the weekend, if you've got any live shows. Hi, Brendan. I hope you're well. I saw your post about your poor cat earlier. I'm very sorry. Anyways, we've got Liam Kennedy Clark in the room waiting to join with us, so we might welcome him in. Hello.
Hey, Danny. How are you?
I'm good. It's been so long since we had you on the show. Wow. It'd be 3 years, I reckon. I think you were one of the early ones that we chatted to.
That's right. Yeah, seems familiar. Seems distant, but yeah.
And I was saying earlier, the last time I saw you was Groundwater, but I haven't been there since 2019, I reckon.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it would have been. Gosh, everything just seems so far away now.
That's it. I mean, it's been a couple of decades wrapped into 2 years.
It feels like it, yes. I just want to, if we can just get those 2 years back again, we haven't aged, we haven't changed, we can just start from fresh, that'd be great.
We've got some catching up to do.
Yeah, don't we ever. What have you been up to since we saw you last with all the lockdowns?
I've been flat stick ever since we came back with the light at the end of the tunnel that's, reared its head a couple of times. So it's been, we had the creative lulls through COVID. And then coming back, lucky for me, I've been busy in the studio. I've worked with some great artists, recording their material, but also getting back into recording my own. I've been doing some songwriting and started releasing new music, one of which got released about 2 weeks ago, tomorrow. I think about there. So yeah, Game and Trade. I wrote that with Kelly Cork and had a plethora of amazing musicians help me with that. And yeah, just been back doing gigs on the road and trying to remember how things work again.
Get gig fit again.
That's been hard, but yeah.
It's amazing how quickly things that used to be so natural and you just did automatically, how quickly they go out the window when you stop.
Big time.
Yeah.
It's a case of, not just the physical lifting, it's remembering words and just remembering all of it.
Yeah, the whole thing. And it is it's interesting watching people. People have struggled with that. It's one thing I've noticed. People are, I need a break between now. They're not can't quite do it as much as they used to. But we'll all get back to it. Now, I wanted to talk to you about Game and Trade. Tell us about writing this song, and what was the reason you chose now to release new music? Is it because we're getting back to gigging, hopefully, and things like that?
Yeah, I had a bit of a lull in regards to when COVID hit. I went home to New Zealand for 4 months. So just before the lockdown, I flew over. I had to do 2 weeks of self-isolation there, my grandparents' caravan. And I actually wrote one song while I was in there, which is one that we're looking to release in July, I believe. It's one that's been re-recorded multiple times because it's not quite where I want it to be. But that was the only song I'd written for about a year and a half. I wasn't in any frame of mind to be able to do any more. So it wasn't until I eventually came back, and then a few months later, I caught up with Callie Cork in Mullaney on the Sunshine Coast, and we put the song together. And I had a verse, I believe maybe 2 verses already written, and he helped me finish it from there. It's all about touring and being a musician because, well, constantly get asked, when am I going to get a real job? And it's a case of, well, with COVID, in hindsight, maybe I should have. Because I was at college, I was offered an apprenticeship as a sparky, and I, hindsight, that probably would have been a good backup plan because I do enjoy that sort of thing. But at the time, and actually still to this day, I go, no, I love music. This is what I want to do. So it's sort of that sparked the idea of the song. There's so much driving. There's so much behind the scenes. People think, oh, you just get up and sing, and then you go home and sleep and watch TV. So it's not a game where you do that, but it's also, being a musician, it's not commonly associated with getting a trade, even though we're still considered sole traders most of the time. It sort of blurs the lines with running your own business, and that's sort of where the song sparked from. There's a line in the chorus. It's not the money, it's not the fame, strings and bartered lyrics. It sits between a game and trade. So that's the song.
That's actually, it's really well put, because you're right. People don't look at it like you're working, and a lot of the time you're working twice as hard as a lot of other roles that people do. So it's because they're not seeing you. They see you on the stage, and that's all they get to see. They don't see what you're putting into it. What it takes to just get one song.
That's it. I mean, we don't have that regular paycheck coming in. You've got to work for that.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. Yeah, you never really fully make. If you were to charge your time out by the hour, you would never get it back with what you do just to get that one song out, let alone a whole set of songs that you would play on stage.
That's right. That's right. But all that being said, I don't know anyone who would trade it for the world.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting time for people, because people are loving music and what they do, but over this time they've had to look at, well, is it something I really want to do, or is it something that I can continue to do? And people have had to make some really hard decisions, and it's been really good to see that so many musicians have still pushed through. Yes, they might have had to get other work, but they're still there, still doing what they love. It hasn't knocked people around. Their love for music has just kept them going. It's been really good to.
Yeah, I think many things have helped us through it. I think. I mean, for one thing, all of us are used to living on noodles or very small amounts of food.
Yes.
So we managed to cut corners in a few ways, knowing that constantly being told, I don't like talking politics or anything, but constantly being told, if you do this, if you do that, if you get this, then we will return to normal, we'll get there. So we've always been given, as much as we're given the numbers of doom and gloom, we've always been given hope, we'll get there.
Yes.
And that's been enough for us to go, okay, cool, I'll get ready.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, there's been a lot of musos take other jobs, and all things being said, I did as well. I got a factory job last year, one or the other. I lasted 10 days going, holy crap, this is
not what I want.
I mean, main reason was where it wasn't working with my health, but I did look at other options, and currently working a couple hours now and there at a music shop in Newcastle. But it's that hope, getting back into music. It's been great to be able to. I think we're finally there.
Yes, I think you're right. We're definitely, and we have had, as you said, the light has definitely come up a few times, but we've still had, people have still been releasing music. We've still had, as you said, you've been recording music with people. We have kept flowing. We've just found different ways to get it out there now, which is really good. But yes, I was sort of finding it interesting as to, is that the reason that you released Game and Trade now? You wrote it a while ago.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things. It's because it's very different musically to anything I've recorded, and actually pretty different to everything else that's out on radio at the moment, and or at least that I know of.
Yeah.
And there are so many things I wanted to achieve with this in regards to. It's been 3 years since my last album or recorded music, and that was pretty straight down the line country. Where now it's like, okay, it's showing how easy we can have our livelihood and what we love ripped away from under our feet. So if I'm going to put all this money, all this effort, and all this time into recording music, I want it to be something that I love and something that I want to say musically and as an
Yes.
artist. And I mean, a big thing for me in this is that there's no electric guitars. There's a lot of other instruments taking on that role of driving the song. So there's a 5-piece brass section, and I think in this one there are 6 pedal steel parts,
Yes.
which it's something quite different. So
Yes.
it's been a case of so many great musicians have come on and been a part of this with me, just working with them, getting things right. So I don't just go, oh, yeah, here's a song. It's something to go, this is what I love. I hope you guys like it too. And if not, well, I love it.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's the main reason why it's taken a bit of time. And I'm super proud of it and how it's come out.
Yeah. It is a great song, and I think you're right. I haven't heard anything like that being released for quite a long time, and it's a fun song. It's one that I think people are going to grab hold of. And I was actually watching earlier today the film clip for that. Is that something? When did you film that? Was that just before release, or because I know everyone's been having trouble filming film clips with the closures and everything?
Yeah,
So did you do that?
it wasn't long before release. It would have been about 6 weeks, I think,
Yeah.
before release. We filmed that with Jeremy Minette from Eisenhower's Creative. Yeah, it's music videos are one of those things for me. It's like photos. I'm always about the audio and recording things, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, hang on, I've got to be seen.
Yeah.
And it's a whirlwind of what are we going to do? How do we need to portray this? And I think it's come up really well. It's as you say, it's a bit of a catchy song. So we tried to do a video to represent that, which I think
Yes.
we encapsulated quite well.
You did, yeah. No, it's a good fun video, and actually, I think I've popped the link to that, or at least to your YouTube in the top of the comments. So when you finish here, everybody, make sure you head up there and have a look at the film clip, because it is a good fun film clip, and you all look like you were having a great day. Actually, you all looked like it was good to be back.
We had a lot of fun, and luckily there's a lot of driving clips in that song, whether it's on me or whether there are a lot of drone shots. And luckily we filmed it right before we had the petrol price hike. So that's good.
For sure. That's very good. Oh my goodness, it's put a whole nother spin on getting to a gig again, hasn't it?
It really has. I mean, this weekend just gone, I did 2 trips to Sydney, one to collect something for the studio, and the next day down to the airport, we flew up to Brisbane to play a John Steffen show. And that was about $150 return in diesel from my place. So it's making touring harder, that's for sure. But
yeah,
we
it
all
is.
adapt and overcome.
We do adapt. They keep throwing things at us, and then yeah, we just find ways. We're a very resilient bunch, I think.
That's it. We are.
Are you heading to Tamworth in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I'll be there. Tamworth 2.0.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the slightly cooler weather.
Yes, I'm so jealous that I don't get to go for that. I think it's going to be really interesting watching everybody go this year. It'll be so nice to walk down Peel Street and not absolutely roast before you get to the person that you want to stop and see.
That's it.
So whereabouts can people go and see you when you get to Tamworth?
I'm not doing too many shows on my own. I've got a couple guest spots. One for the Shine Showcase in the Capitol Theatre. That's on Tuesday morning, run by Carter and Carter. And I think I'm singing a song with Lynn Botel on her show, and with the Bushwhackers as well.
Excellent. Yes. So you got a few, because it is condensed this time. We're jamming 2 weeks in, aren't we?
It is, yeah. It's a bit of a mishmash, but it's good. It'll be quite nice to be not exhausted by the end.
Yes, I agree. And even for the awards night, having that part way through, not at the end where you're absolutely so tired that you can't stay awake for the whole thing. It's just, yeah, it'll be interesting. It's actually
Absolutely.
a nice spot to put it and see how it works. So
Yeah.
where can people buy your current single? Have you got any merchandise and things available at the moment?
I don't. I'm looking at getting some made up. We're touring later this year, actually starting at Tamworth and then onwards with Lynn Botel and Duncan Tomb. So I'm looking at getting some merch done up for them, but
Excellent.
currently no.
Currently none. What are you looking at? Have you had any ideas?
I haven't yet. No, I need to work out what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'll work it out whether we go with the old stubby coolers or something a bit different. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a hard one. We always get different comments on merch. It's great to see. You have a lot of people popping into the room today. Susan has popped in and she say good evening, and she's watching from the Gold Coast. Brendan is there and he's popped a comment that your songs are awesome and to go and find your music on all platforms. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Oh, thank you. No, we really do appreciate the support.
Cynthia, she's popped in from Melbourne to watch. Hi, Cynthia. I hope you've had a good week. There's loads of people. Don is watching from New Zealand.
Oh, there's my grandparents tuned in.
Oh, that's good. Is that where you stayed in the caravan?
That was their caravan out the front. They brought me dinner out on the tray.
Oh,
Still isolating. Here,
no
it's at
wonder
the
you
door.
stayed
Give me a ring. There you go. It was good.
No wonder you stayed for 4 months. People making you dinner.
No,
I
that's
wouldn't
right.
have done that.
It was so good to be home.
How long had it been before in the trip before? It had been a long time.
Luckily it hadn't been too long from memory. It was only it's a great question. It was only about 8 months, but it'll be coming up to 2 years or 2.5 years before I get to see them again.
Wow, you'd be itching to get home. So you
Yeah.
said you're going on the road with Lynn and everybody. Where are you heading to?
So we're starting in Tamworth, and then Lynn's album launch in mid-May. We're starting in Les Ots in Newcastle. And from there, we're going all over the place. We're playing a few around the Central Coast and Sydney. July, I know we're going up to Queensland, playing from Dalby to Toowoomba up to Bundaberg and the sunny coast. We're going to Adelaide. I'm pretty sure we're going to Victoria. All the dates are up on Lynn's Facebook page and her website. I'm getting them up on my socials in the coming days as I learn how to do it.
Where is
Yeah.
the place to look for you? Because you're like me, you don't really like doing the socials, but we have to. Where's the best place to keep up to date with where they can see you and when you've got new music coming out?
The best place is Facebook and Instagram. I regularly keep them up to date as best as I can. And yeah, I've got my website as well, liamkennedyclark.com, and we're slowly putting all the touring dates up on there as well.
Yep, wonderful. And I know that I've kept you for so long. Next single, you're looking at releasing another one fairly soon. Have you got a few ready in the pipeline for the year, or what's your plan?
We've got a few coming out. So the next one is coming out at the end of May. I think the 27th of May. So that's over getting pedal steel down in Nashville at the moment, and then we'll be doing vocals and a few other things. So it's not too far away from being done. Then we got one in July, and then a couple scattered after that, and hopefully an album out early next year.
Wow, you've got a big year coming.
Big year. It's exciting. It's good to be able to have music coming out again.
I was going to say, how good is it to say I've got a big year happening? It's really nice to finally.
So great.
It is wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope we get to see you again at the end of May. I know I won't be in Tamworth, but I hope that somebody puts some footage up so that we can see what you're up to while you're there.
We'll make sure there's stuff around.
That'd be wonderful. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Now, we will be back Saturday morning at 7 a.m. my time in Tasmania, so really early, but we do have a show then, but you can watch it if you want to have a sleep in later. And we've got quite a few next week, but we've got to try and fit them in because we've had our internet gone down for 2 days. So I'm trying to redo the calendar. So you will see that pop up on the page as soon as we've updated it all. But thank you for joining us, Liam, and we'll see you again very soon.
Sounds great. See you soon.
See you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed today's program. See you next time with the latest with Country Kickback.